Hello, ladies and gentlemen, this is Eddie Marcus here again. I've been doing so many videos for you here lately, I think I've worn out my video apparatus. So, if you're seeing stuff like a production I did a little earlier, it was very out of focus. And so this might be out of focus as well. However, I want to do it because it might work. And the information that I want to give to you is very essential. For quite some time now, I've been speaking to you about changing this system and making this system more conducive to the needs of all of the people, not just some. And for years I've been doing this, and for years you have rejected it. And I can understand that it has to do with the program. So I thought I'd do a little research. It's been about 40-some years since I've been out of school, so I thought I'd do some research to touch up on some of the subject matters that are important for this particular emphasis. And this would be reference to the general public. You know, the general public have some basic education, but not refined to the degree that those who try to run things, who say they're so smart, have. So I would just like to give a few definitions. One, when we talk about politics, what are we talking about? According to the information that I've researched, it says that it's the process of making decisions that apply to members of a group. It refers to achieving and exercising positions of governance. In other words, politics is organized control over a human community. Politics, organized control over human community. Remember that, organized control. Control. When we talk about the economy, we're talking about the wealth and resources of a country or region in terms of production and consumption of goods and services. Production and consumption of goods and services. When we speak of communism, because these are some of the things, some of the choices that are put before the people. We talk about communism, socialism, and capitalism, or democracy, however you want to refer to it. And the emphasis has been that each of these systems are designed to deny the people the best system. Well, we would say that communism, it starts off by saying communism denies private ownership of land and means of production. And when we think about capitalism, democratic capitalism, it says that industry and trade are controlled by private owners for profit. Now, communism denies private ownership of land and means of production, while capitalism, speaking of industry and trade, are controlled by private owners for profit. Controlled by private owners for profit. That might be the reason why it's so difficult to get prices controlled so that those who are poor can receive them. Might be reasons why healthcare might be denied some, and education denied some, and other things that you know that some people can't get, because it's about profit. And profit means a bottom line, and whatever you can make the money on is where things are going to go. Okay, we says that it's a system of government by the whole population. That's the democratic process, you know, a system of government by the whole population. Or, it says, a system of government by the whole population, or those who consider themselves as eligible members. If it's not the whole population, then we would refer to eligible members. Now, give me an example of that. You say you go to the polls and vote. Go to the polls and vote. Got the popular vote. And everybody think that their vote counts. It means something. But then you got the electoral college, which is considered as eligible members, that usurps whatever the popular thought they had. Now the small group dictates what is to actually happen in this democratic capitalist system. Another example would be the tax bill that was passed by the new president, Donald Trump. a tax bill that gets the people's money, everybody's money, and they give it to whomever they decide to. When I say they, I'm talking about the Republican Party, in that they are in control of everything now. You got the president, you got Congress, the House of Representatives, and the Senate. And so the bill passes. It doesn't matter what the other parties say, the Democrats say. It doesn't matter what you, the people, say. This is what happens. The money goes to where it wants to go, and that goes to Israel, goes to some other countries, and the bulk of it goes to the military-industrial complex, and a lot of it, as far as the tax relinquishing goes, to those who are what you call the corporations, those who own everything. They can get more of the money back. And so then what happens? You have to take away Social Security, cut it. You have to take away, taking away food stamps, giving people basket lunches. They're taking health care away. Now, these are the people that lose. Now, this is the system that we live under today, ladies and gentlemen. I just wanted to bring that to your attention. Now, they also talk about socialism. Socialism is one of those systems that a lot of people live under. And it is said that socialism is evil. Well, first of all, let's see if I got another part of socialism. Socialism is an economic theory which advocates means of production, distribution, and exchange. And it should be owned or regulated by the community as a whole. That's what they say about socialism. But in reality, we says that socialism is considered evil, for it says it gives the aura of legitimacy by noble-sounding expressions such as spreading the wealth, income distribution, caring for the less fortunate as the will of the majority, and that everyone, these are things why they say socialism is evil, seeks to live at the expense of everyone else. And what they're basically talking about they're talking about money. They say that socialism is condescending, it's in that it's patronizing and advocating superiority. They say it's ineffective, not making the best use of its time and resources, and that it's immoral because it's not conforming to the acceptable standards, of morality. These are the kinds of things that you have to deal with when you are speaking in terms of the systems of government and what they're designed to do. But what I really want to say to you, ladies and gentlemen, as I've said before, these forms of government are government that has been instituted because men have choice. Whether it's started by one, a dictator, or by a group, which can in itself be a dictator, because all of the people have the input. Even though we talk about democratic, you're thinking about all of the people, but even there you got representatives like the Republicans and the Democrats. And even there, when a government is controlled by a particular party, then the other party got no voice. So what you see is what we have here in America today. I keep saying these things to you because whether it's communism, socialism, or capitalism, democratic capitalism, I want to throw that democratic in there because you always want to refer to democratic. But the bottom line is, ladies and gentlemen, and I want you to do your own research on this. I just picked up a few points I just wanted to throw out there at you. But in each of these systems of government, I don't care what they and how they say they are established, at the end of the day, you got some with a lot, and extremely lot. Even those which says the people run. Even there, you got some people who got much more than they ever will need. And there are a lot of in between, but let's just jump down somewhere in the middle. There are those that fall in the middle. And having done that, they are always the poor. Always the poor. Why does this have to exist? Why does this have to exist? It exists because men men, mind you, are made in such a way, when given choice, they always want to make themselves appear better than others. And there are those who can't argue that, so they just fall in between. And there are those who just can't fathom what's going on, they fall at the bottom. This is why I have often said to you, and I continue to say to you, that there is one system. Ford Motor Company has its system. Chrysler has its. Mercedes-Benz got theirs. Everybody got their system. When you want to fix your Mercedes-Benz, you don't go to Ford. Or if you go to, where's this Lamborghini? You don't go, I don't know who makes Lamborghini, but you don't go to somewhere else where people don't make their car. Try to get some directions. So, when we're talking about people owning land, some systems say you got the right to own land. You got the money by the land. They have a system set up. All of these systems are set up that would allow these different exploitations to take place. And I call it exploitations because what makes one man eligible to say they own land when none of them had anything to do with the making of the land? Nobody. The only thing that allows a person to own land is setting up a system of government and getting the people to go along with it, if it's not under dictatorship, that says it's okay. And how you own that land, it depends on whether you're with your right group, whether you got money or whatever. These are the ways that people determine these facts. But in reality, nobody owns land. And when each one dies, they take no land with them. So the land belongs to the maker. And the maker made the land for everything that lives on the land. Everything and everyone that lives on the land. That's why the land is made. And it is made for all, not for some. I don't care what kind of stuff they come up with that says they can own the land. I don't care what kind of regulation, what kind of policy they come up with. In truth, nobody can own land but the maker of the land. And that land is to be used for what the maker made it for. And that's so that everything that is on it have the respect and honor and the right to be on it. And nothing else on the face of that earth has the authority to try to usurpate or take away that ability for some to be on land. Do you hear me? Now, you've heard me say that food, clothing, there are certain things that are essential for survival for everybody. Everybody. Food, clothing, shelter. Everybody. Now, that is met by the resources that have been given. Whether it's above the earth, on the earth, or in the earth, seen or unseen. All of these things have been given by that same power that created the earth. Now, people require these things. There's one special thing that this creator did also. Made people. And in making people, people got responsibilities in the manifestation of the goods and services. So each individual got a gift, a special gift that allows them to participate in that creative process. And regardless of what your gift is, there is no gift that is more important than any other gift. Now, man doesn't go with that. Man says, I'm this, and so I got better rights. The maker of man says, I don't care what you can do. You can be 3 years old and play a piano like I don't know what. You can be 2 years old and know all kinds of information. But that doesn't make you any more important. Oh, they can use that. The human beings can use that. But it doesn't make it any more important than a child 2 years old whose only duty is to walk from mom to dad, holding a hand and learn how to walk real good. You have no more right to anything than that one kid that's trying to learn how to walk. This is the divine message. But everybody is given a gift. What is that gift for? So you can have a job, you can have a career. But not just any job. A job that you love. See, the gift that the master put inside of you is the gift that you love. You hear people saying all the time, I want a job that I'm happy with. A job that makes me feel good. I'm glad to get up in the morning and go to. Usually you're talking about entertainers, sports figures. But they are engineers, they are teachers, everybody. I don't care what walk of life you're in. There are those individuals in that walk of life who find it the greatest opportunity to serve. That's the way the master designed it. And having the opportunity to engage yourself in that is the greatest reward that an individual can have. And in engaging yourself, you create everything that human beings need for survival. Food, clothing, shelter, education, health care. All of these things. And all those extras, what you call cream on the top. Your transportation, planes and boats and fly and cars and everything that you got there. The beautiful landscapes and your yards and all of this, your gardens and your everything, ladies and gentlemen, is there by the Maker. And what is the purpose? For the people. What people? Every last one of you. Now I'm telling you about God. Now God doesn't give a dang about socialism or communism or democracy. God is concerned about you and loves you and made it possible that you can have your dreams. Socialism and communism and dictatorship don't do that. They don't give a heck about you. They care about themselves and those that support what they're trying to do in the degree that they need them. But God cares about every last one of you. Now, all of these things that you crave in your life, what did the evil one say to you? If you serve me, bow down and serve me, I'll give you the big houses on the hill. You don't have to live in the tent or in a cave. I'll give you the best cars that you can ever drive and anybody would ever want to drive if you bow down and serve me. And men and women by the millions are bowing down and serving. In Russia, they're bowing down and serving Putin because if they don't, he'll have them killed. Donald Trump is trying to set up a system in the United States where if you don't bow down and serve Donald Trump, he'll have you killed. Other places in the world have been practicing this for hundreds of years. But God Almighty from the beginning says the way to peace and prosperity and joy is the way of God for everyone. So, I stand before you as a relatively poor man. I don't have the kind of resources available to me because the system have taken it away from me. Why? Because I do not follow the dictates of the system. I'm talking to you about the greatest system that humankind can ever experience. And they are walking around laughing at me, saying I can't get the proper dental care, saying I can't get the wherewithal to have my home taken care of like other people who bow down to the system, who bow down to the system. Those who even talk about God who bows down to the system, who just go smiling every Sunday talking about they got their nice hats on and their nice suits and they drive to fine cars to the church and go home and get up and work their butts off in jobs that they can't stand, trying to pay bills that each year the prices increase and the wages don't go up. But they try to fall in, don't rock the boat. But I tell you, this is my whole purpose for you, ladies and gentlemen. For your dreams to come true. Without you selling your souls, you have to honor God. And there's only one way to honor God, and that is to treat people, other people, genders, races, nationality, even your enemies, the way you want to be treated. In so doing, you protect yourselves from any devil, whether it's Trump, Putin, Mao, whoever's running North Korea or running, well, I won't even go out there. I'll just stay with the crooked people in the United States of America. If you're treating others like you want to be treated, these guys could never come in and guide you down a path that's leading you to hell. But we are being guided down that path today. Whenever you see ghettos, when you go through cities, especially some of the northern cities and eastern and western and central cities, you find them decaying. You find the infrastructure falling down, bridges falling in, roads with potholes and the pavement all cracked up. All of these things happening. And as a result of the choices that are being made, now it seems as if the natural order of things have changed. The weather is changing. Snow in the springtime and in the summertime, rain and everything in different places over and over and over again. It's either that or it has something to do with man-made weather control. And they do have weather control. And those controls are not made by a nation itself. Those controls are operated and regulated by secret societies. Secret societies, people behind the scenes that you never know anything about. And if you know anything about it, it's only the information that they allow you to know. HAARP, that's that main weather machine that's stationed in various countries. Not controlled by that country, nevertheless, but are controlled by those secret societies. You hear about that pyramid. You're talking about the people sitting up there that are all seeing eye and all of those secret organizations that comes down between. You don't know too much about that. You don't have time to research that. And if you did, you wouldn't know what you were looking at, because all the information that you usually would have is the information that you're permitted to have. And so all of this happens. But God has made it possible so you can defeat any of that. You can defeat any of that. You see, you as an individual are a sovereign. No one, I don't know if you've been told this, has the right to control your life except you and God. It's a relationship between you, the individual, and God. And God is saying, I am your God, but allow nothing else between us. Now you say, well, God, I stand up and do the right thing, but you're not blessing me. Well, here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. When God says that to you, God expects something of you. And that is for you to use your sovereignty in conjunction with love, with using love, to combine it with others who are being abused as you are being abused, to stand up against the system. If God didn't require this of you, then why give you choice? Might as well just take away your choice to violate and force you to go the right path. But now, because of that choice, you have to receive love in your life. Receiving love comes from God. It comes from a willingness with you to accept it from God. The pure in heart shall receive God. And by that love, it appears in the expressions that you take in those situations that causes pain and suffering to others. That's your love. That's you being a vessel for God to show the way of God, so that people who have made the choice to go against God can now see how making the choice for God works. And in so doing, then the blessings come not just to you, but to all of you. To all of you. Why? Because you've learned the lesson of life. I hope I'm making some sense. I hope I'm making some sense, because this camera is tired of me. And there is nothing new that I can say. I made about 5 videos yesterday. In every one of those videos, while I try to change the subject matter, the topic, every last one of them were nothing but repeats of stuff that I've said over the past 1,000 videos. So if you are interested in anything like that, you would run across a video and you would pay attention to it. And me coming at you every day trying to get you to pay attention is not going to do anything but give me a headache and tear my video camera up. Because if you're not buying it, you're not buying it. And there's only one thing for me to do. I can express my choice by saying to hell with you and bending over and getting on my knees, worshiping democracy, or worshiping communism, or worshiping socialism, or worshiping dictatorships in hopes that they might allow me to get a little better situation that I am in today. Or I can exercise the choice of loving God and standing for God and telling the whole darn world to go to hell and don't have food to eat, don't have clothing or shelter, don't have the education and health care, and either fall over and die or keep talking and make them kill me if you pay attention. One thing I want to say to you again, as I was stating a moment ago and got away from, you are a sovereign. Because you are a sovereign, that means you, my friend, make the choice of how you want to live. And if you just get so tired that you don't want to lose all of the things of life because of what they represent, you know what it's like to have no clothes when it's cold. You know what it's like to have your belly hurting when you're hungry and you can't get anything to eat. You don't have to steal. You know what it's like when you can't even educate yourself. So you still have one thing that's precious, and that's suicide. You can kill your own self. That's a God-given right. If everything works against you, you can make them kill you by doing the right thing, or you can kill yourself. Somebody said to you, that's the one sin that God won't forgive you for. Tell them to go to hell. You can kill yourself anytime you get ready. You know why they tell you that? They know if you got enough freedom to take your own life, they can't control you. The way they control you is by threatening to take your life. And since you don't know what life is all about, you don't know that God controls your life. You don't know that at the moment that you die, you transcend into something that's more beautiful if you deserve it, or something more hellish if you deserve it. You don't know that. But you do have control of your life. And you can take it back from the state. Take it back from what they call capital punishment. Take it back from those dictators that want to kill you just because you stand up against them. Tell them to hell with all of them. And lay your butt down like a puppy and go to heaven. And take away that authority. And who are they going to control then? Who are they going to control then when you know that life is in the hands of God and not in their hands? They can't control a single one of you. But the blessing is if you recognize that power that you got, and then you direct it toward loving one another, so that thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Boy, that's a mighty power. Because then God runs the earth. And those of you who are waiting for Jesus to come back, Jesus will be living in each of you. And anyone that sits on that throne representing what God is about is Jesus. Remember that. Until next time, if there is another time, Eddie Marcus, spokesman and advocate of basic human rights for all people, saying bye-bye.